Welcome back, friends. In chapter 17, we learned that the aliens have been studying Earthlings. They find Earthlings very fascinating. Humans are so smart, and yet they don't use their brains. They do things like not share food. They do things like fight with each other. And they just can't understand why are they not using all this brain capacity for good. So I don't know. It sounds like a good thing to study. Why? But why does poor Duncan have to end up in a force field to be studied? That doesn't seem like a good thing coming from the other alien. All right. So let's see what's going on. You know, our friend Duncan, he's stuck in that force field with his thoughts, and someone's talking to him, and we don't know who it is. So we're going to find out now in chapter 18, Across the Void. Peter, I thought in astonishment. Peter Thompson? None other. Wait, let me try something here. Where are you? Shh, wait. I was bursting with curiosity, but I waited. There, that's better. This time I actually heard his voice, which was different than thought reading. To my astonishment, I could see Peter inside my head. The same brown hair, skinny face, big eyes, except something was missing. Where are your glasses? I don't need them anymore, said Peter with a smile. They fixed my eyes the second day out. Where are you? In space, silly. Where did you expect I would be? Oh, Duncan, it's glorious. The stars. I can't tell you, but it's frightening too. There's a lot going on. Big things. And Earth is right in the middle of it. We're right in the middle of it. What do you mean? The Interplanetary Council, that's sort of a galaxy-wide United Nations, is trying to figure out what to do about us. We've got their tails in a tizzy because our planet is so weird. From what Broxholm has told me, wait, I thought. Tell me about Broxholm. Is he treating you all right? Well, that's kind of weird too, said Peter. I'm never quite sure what's going on with him. But listen, I've got to tell you this stuff first because I'm not sure how long I can stay on, and you have to get word out to someone. Here's the deal. The aliens are having a big debate among themselves about how to handle the Earth. And I don't mean just Broxholm's gang. We're talking about hundreds of different planets here. As near as I can make out, they've narrowed it down to 4 basic approaches. One group wants to take over the Earth. One group wants to leave us on our own. One group wants to blow up the planet to smithereens. And one group wants to set up a blockade. What? Peter looked grim. They say it's for the sake of the rest of the galaxy. They seem to find us pretty scary, Duncan. I don't get it. Don't ask me how to explain how an alien's mind works, said Peter, sounding a little cranky. As far as I can make out, they think there's something wrong with us. Well, 2 things actually. The first thing is the way we handle things down here. That's why they've been sending in people like Broxholm. They're supposed to study us and figure out why we act the way we do. So Broxholm was some kind of anthropologist from space studying the whole human race like it was a tribe in the jungle? You could put it that way. Anyway, the other thing that has them concerned is how smart we could be if we ever got our act together. Broxholm actually seems jealous. Every once in a while, he goes on about human brain being the most underused tool in the galaxy. I get the impression they're afraid that if we learn to use our full intelligence before we get civilized, we're civilized. Not by their standards. Anyway, they're afraid. Uh-oh. Someone's coming. I gotta go, Duncan. Wait! But he was gone, leaving me floating in my force field to think about what he had said. I knew that at least part of what the aliens thought about us was true. My own growing brain power had proved to me that we had the possibility of being a lot more intelligent than we act. I was beginning to understand that everything I had ever experienced was stored inside my brain. That's why I knew the words like synapse and anthropologist. They didn't come out of nowhere. I had heard them sometime in the past. so they were in my brain. But until I had gotten my brain fried, I couldn't use them because for some reason, I couldn't get at them. Were we all like that? Filled with information we weren't using? Why couldn't we use it? Were we like computers with faulty disk drives or something? The second question was even more frightening. What would we do with all that intelligence if we ever did unleash it? Would we use it to make things better? Or would we just do the kinds of things we do right now, only faster? For example, would we figure out a way to save the rainforest, or just figure out new, improved ways to cut them down? Time is funny in a force field. I don't know how long I floated there, worrying about Peter's message before Creeblum came back. It could have been 2 hours or 2 weeks for all I knew, though considering how urgent she seemed to think things were, 2 hours was probably more likely. All right, Duncan, she said cheerfully. It's time for you to start to repay me for those brain enhancements you received. Let's see if we can get this communication system to work. For a moment, I was terrified that she would read my mind and find out that Peter had contacted me. But as it turned out, she was too involved in her own project to worry about what was going on inside my head right now. She started by sitting on the floor. Well, that's not really accurate. She didn't sit so much as she made her legs shrink. Or maybe she pulled them up inside of her. Anyway, she didn't bother with a chair. Once she was down, she put a little box between her feet and started to fiddle with some dials on the front of it. I felt a tingle in my brain. Creeblum looked up. That doesn't hurt, does it? She asked. It's scary, I thought at her. Most experiences are, she replied, flipping her nose. You'll get used to it. Ah, there we go. I've got contact. She ignored me and turned all her attention to the communication box. She sat there, frowning and muttering. A couple of times her nose twitched around as if she was really angry. I thought it was pretty unfair. The messages were being passed through my brain, and I couldn't find out what they were all about. After a while, Creeblum slammed the box shut and stood up, which is to say that her legs came back from wherever they had gone. What was all that about? I asked. Private business, she said. She sounded upset. Scooping up the poot, she went back down the stairs. I was getting a little sick of everyone else using my brain, though I would have been glad to have Peter to talk to again. At least, that was what I thought, until he actually showed up again. Duncan, came the voice in my head. Is there anybody there? Just you and me, I answered. Good. His image shimmered into my brain. He looked worried. Listen, things are heating up out here. The aliens are planning something. I don't know what, but it's big. You have to get word to the government. Well, how can I do that? Even if they would believe me, which is pretty doubtful, I'm stuck in the middle of a force field in Creeblum's attic. Suddenly, I heard a step on the stairway. Being connected to my brain, Peter heard it too. Pretend I'm not here, he said desperately. I can't be caught talking to you like this. I'll try to hold on, but I'll break the connection if I have to. I understand, I told him. The footsteps reached the top of the stairs. I couldn't see who was coming because I couldn't turn my head, but it didn't sound like Creeblum. Finally, the intruder stepped in front of the force field. I couldn't believe my eyes. What are you doing here? I thought. What is who doing here? Who is there? Poot? No, Poot could be around. He wouldn't be surprised by Poot. Who could be there? Who could be? Wait, how about what's man catcher? What do you, the principal? His brother? How about, the lady from the newspaper. What's her name? Honey something. Is it her? Who could, maybe it's Peter's father. No, Peter's father doesn't know where he went. You guys, we have got to move on to the next chapter because I really need to know. So, are you ready? Let's move on to chapter 19.